been another turbulent week in the markets. We've seen very big swings in prices, and right now that is continuing. So let me talk you through what's happened over the last week and what to expect this week, and go into the numbers. So as always, we're going to start with gas prices, and finally we're talking about a downtrend in the market. So we can see prices really peaked about this time last week, hit all-time highs, and then have rapidly decreased in price, dropping around 10 to 15% a day for around 3-4 day period. I haven't actually put the figures up for this week, those that are regular viewers, just where it's been changing so much. It was hard to kind of give a fair reflection of the price change, but we've seen a big drop off in prices. It has now upticked slightly Monday, and I'll come on to why with the latest news why that has upticked. But yeah, and changing dynamic really in the markets. And will this have been the peak, and have we passed the peak? It's obviously hard to say, but where we go from here is expected to be still volatile nonetheless. Just quickly look at power as well. It's a very similar trend. The uptick is only 4.5% really yesterday, so well off its all-time high kind of period. And as of the time of recording, Tuesday afternoon, prices are downtrending again today, so I expect prices to be lower end of play today. So what happened last week? Let me just run you through some very big events really that happened. So we've been talking about Nord Stream a lot on this video update. We've been talking about a lot in our market commentary. It's such a key aspect of the supply picture. Late on Friday, we saw the announcement that Nord Stream will be shut indefinitely. This is wording by Gazprom. This was cited as an oil leak on part of the pipeline and turbine. So due to the oil leak, they've had to shut operation completely. Now, this was slightly unexpected because leading into Friday, nominations were made for Saturday. So bookings were made for 20% gas to resume flowing through the pipeline. So that's why we saw the market downtrend, or partly the reason why. And then it's completely gone full circle, opening up on Monday morning on the knowledge that the pipeline is indeed closed indefinitely. What indefinitely means is hard to gauge, but as of most recently, Gazprom have now said this pipeline won't open until sanctions are lifted. So whether it is indeed a structure issue or actually more political, for one reason or the other, this pipeline will be shut until sanctions are lifted against Russia. The next kind of big update was EU contemplating price caps on commodities, specifically natural gas, I guess is the most relevant for this update. So there is a plan to implement a cap on wholesale gas prices, most likely the start of next year. It's going to take a major market reform, and what we're actually now seeing is the summer 23 period onwards, we're seeing a lot of downward pressure because that's the period that's most likely to be affected, more so than winter 22, with the reference of the start of next year by the EU. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, and we'll have to see how that kind of develops, and no doubt that will feature again in regular video updates. And then finally, there has been announcement of a Russian kind of price cap on oil, imported oil. So this has again been agreed by the EU, not so much in terms of hard details as of yet, but it's speculated that that cap will be around $60 a barrel. Right now, Brent trades anywhere between 90 to 95, so that's about a third reduction in price there. As well as the EU, the G7 have obviously agreed to that as well. So the G7 is the likes of America, Canada, as well as the European nations. But there is a lot of criticism on that and how effective it's going to be when you haven't got notable countries such as China, India, South Korea involved in that as well. Whether they do agree to that price cap as well remains to be seen, but for that to have any significant kind of impact, you probably need a global response to adhering to that cap. What was interesting is the announcement of Nord Stream happened pretty much straight after that Russian oil kind of cap was announced. So whether that was a retaliation, a political kind of retaliation. I'll let you judge that, but it happened pretty much straight after that announcement was made. So what to look for this week is a big week, as always, in the energy world. So not just the energy world, but the UK. The UK now has a new Prime Minister, so Liz Truss is taking charge. And no doubt her number one thing on her agenda is going to be the energy crisis. So announcements are expected as early as this week. She has come out and said almost day one, really, she's going to make an announcement on the energy crisis. That could be today, tomorrow. And it's to be expected given the urgency. So the growing kind of speculation is the energy price cap will be frozen. There's theories as to how long, perhaps just this winter, perhaps to the end of 23. So there's the speculation there. And that will come at a cost, but that's currently the most likely outcome is energy prices will freeze at the current rate to obviously get people through very hard financial times and obviously get them through this energy crisis. So that's the first thing to look out for, and no doubt that will be headline news whenever it is announced. And the next thing I would keep an eye on is the LNG schedule. So we've seen UK's LNG schedule continue to improve over the last couple months, which is a very good sign. And I would expect that to continue to strengthen for September, for October. And the further good news is really regarding Freeport. So that was the terminal which caught fire back in the middle of summer. So that is expected to now resume or partly resume in November. And that could actually bode well for November's numbers as well in terms of scheduling and booking in more LNG cargo. And then finally, perhaps one thing which is putting real downward pressure now on the markets is the weather forecast for Q4. Specifically, October and November look very mild. The report actually specifies that there's little risk of any significant cold spell during this period. So that is putting downward pressure on the market. If we do have mild conditions during that kind of autumn period, that will be much more favourable than having cold spells. So that is very positive, very bearish on prices right now. And so keep an eye out on weather forecasts. It's this time of year that's really key in terms of gauging what the winter's going to be like. That's it for today's update. As always, there is further information available daily. It's uploaded on our website. And we do have our Market Watch live team as well to chat to between 10 and 12 if you have any additional queries or anything that's not covered in these video updates. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time.